Welcome, everyone. Good evening. Crazy day, and it's only Tuesday, and it feels like it's we've been together for almost a week. Folks, please hit those hearts, slam those hearts. We have a very, very important conversation. I have some breaking news, a lot of stuff we're going to talk about. Chrissy, exactly, enough is enough. Zev Shalev has joined us. Thank you. We have a all-star cast that are going to be here, folks. We have Zev Shalev that's going to join us. We also have Ellie Leonard that's going to join us. We also have Wajahat Ali from the Left Hook that's going to join us. And you're going to ask me, why, Lev, are all of those people, so important people, joining us? Ellie's here. Welcome, Ellie. I'm glad everybody's here. Because we have some important news that I'm going to be breaking, talking about. And it's also thanks to the help of some of this incredible independent journalism that's on here, independent investigative journalism. These two people, Zev Shalev and Ellie Leonard, I've gotten to know them. I can't wait to personally meet these two people because they really are a true example of, really putting their hard work and effort into it. So we're going to basically let me bring you up to speed, and then I'm going to get them up here, and then maybe we'll get Wajahat up here. But let me give you a preamp of what's going on. So today, I know we're busy with a lot of things happening when it comes to Minnesota. With Venezuela, Ukraine, Russia, right now the Middle East, the protests in Iran, trying to Trump, attacking them. So we have a lot of craziness going on. And, the murder, obviously, of Renee Nicole Good. And please, folks, if you want to, you're more than welcome to keep saying it, typing in the message, because, Renee Nicole Good, we will say her name because, these monsters are trying to actually, go after her. They're actually trying to go, Trump, there's 6, I think, or 7 DOJ prosecutors that quit today because they wouldn't go because Trump and the DOJ is forcing them to look into Renee's partner, her wife, and Renee herself as the criminal acts and what's going on. Heartbreaking, I understand. But right now, we spoke about Ukraine, we spoke about a lot of things, and you guys could more than welcome, please say Renee Nicole Good. You keep saying her name, and we will do it. But this is a special live, a very special live with some breaking news that has to do with the Epstein files. It has to do with people that are involved in the Epstein files. Has to do with some breaking news that we had today. And the breaking news we had today, and I'm going to preference before we go into it, and I want to make it very clear. I told you when I came to this platform, and I want to reiterate it to maybe some new followers, new subscribers, new people that are joining us. I want to make it clear again that I did not come here because of Democrats, Republicans. I don't care if there's a D or R or independent in the middle. I came here because to tell the truth, to speak truth to power, to do everything I possibly can to do a right of the wrongs that I've done in the past by being with helping build MAGA. And now I'm trying to take it apart piece by piece. And part of that comes with a lot of, unfortunately, hard decision making. And the hard decision making is, folks, is sometimes you have to go against people that sometimes others like, sometimes because others, have been following, others have been listening to for whatever reason. But you know what, folks? I want you to understand that I understand if you get upset at me or you don't want to follow me because of certain things I'm going to say, and that's all cool. Because I only want people that want to follow the truth and nothing but the truth, not because it's a partisan issue on one side or the other, because I promise you it's not going to be. So with that preference said, I want to start off saying that I got off the phone with one of my very close sources. And there is actually, in the morning, there was turmoil in the White House with a lot of stuff that was happening. We were talking about how Donald Trump, breaking news about how Donald Trump was discussed that this was a white American mother and not, a black or brown or undocumented woman, and how it's hard for them to make the spin and all of this thing, blah, 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 blah. And now all of a sudden, I'm hearing that there's Joyce, Donald Trump, Stephen Miller, they're, actually high-fiving each other after getting off the phone with Comer, and basically the trap that they set up, and that obviously the Clintons took, and obviously a lot of Democratic leadership is falling in place with that, and the media. The fact that, and I want to make it very clear that the Clintons put out a letter today. For those of you that I don't know if you know what happened, but I'll just reiterate. Today, they were supposed to come and testify in front of Comer. Now, I want to make it very clear. They wrote a long letter, and I agree with everything they're saying in the letter. This is disgusting. What the way Comer, the way Trump, the way they're dealing, it's unfair. I agree with everything they're saying, except for one thing. And I cut out this little piece that I want to read to you folks that really, really ticked me off, because I kept reading and rereading and rereading it, and it really ticked me off. And this is what today I spent most of the day dealing with behind the scenes and some of the things that we're going to talk about. And it's not just the Clintons, folks. And I want you to slam those hearts, pass it on, because the other person we're going to talk about today is Michael Cohen. The day of reckoning has come, and we're going to be breaking certain news, and it's time for a lot of truth to come out. So I really hope, what's it called? You guys slam those hearts, spread the message. We need to get as much people. So here, let's start off with the Clintons before we get into Michael Cohen. And then I'm gonna, after I read this, let me actually, while I'm reading this, I'm gonna bring up Zev and Ellie, because these are some of the most incredible journalistic, investigative journalist here on Substack, and I have been doing. Hey, Ali, good evening. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, of course.
Did you put the little ones down? You good to go?
Yeah. I got two down, two messing around still.
All right, let me get Zev now. Hold on a second. We'll get Zev up here. Because you guys are breaking all this news. You need to get the credit for all the stuff, we're going to talk about some of it, because some people don't understand the hard work involved, and that's why I said I want to say this: I am blessed to have you guys on my team, because you don't even know I have some incredibly huge news that I'm going to be announcing soon, and hopefully the sooner the better. And I just want to let you know ahead of time, you guys are part of that plan, and I'm so excited, because we're going to take our democracy back. So while we're waiting, for Zev to join us, wait, I don't know why, but I don't think it sent him an invitation. Hold on, let me try it again. Oh, here.
My Substack is saying, do I want to put on the beauty filter? I didn't even know that was an option.
I saw that today, right? You want to check it out? I was scared to press it. Go, you do it. Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
You're not doing it. We'll ask Zev to do it. Zev will do it.
It's like a Kardashian.
Zev will do it. Zev will do it. So we'll wait for Zev. But anyway, folks, I want to, Ellie, right now we're talking about the Clintons before we get to Cohen and everything else, and part of what happened today. And like I said, yes, a lot of the letter, I'm not going to read the whole letter. A lot of it, agree with them 100%. This is such a shit show, the way that Trump is doing it, using it, everything. But at the end of the day, I want to say this: the fact that they did not show up, the fact that they're not complying is I don't agree with that 100% from a lot of angles, because the first thing, it's again a spit in the face to the survivors, because again, this is and I'm going to read this one paragraph that they wrote in that whole letter that really got to me. So I quote them. They say, "Every person has to decide when they have seen or had enough and are ready to fight for this country, its principles, and its people, no matter the consequences. For us, now is that time." So let me explain to you how I interpreted that and why that really, really pissed me off.
Okay.
We've been going through so much, literally hell, so much things. And the ex-president of the United States, ex-second lady, senator, these powerful Clinton family, for them, that was not the time. They have not found the time to make a stance to them when it mattered the most.
Yeah.
So what they're saying to me, what mattered the most to them, where they're making a stance, is the Epstein files. Is the Epstein files. You are going to make a stance, and you're going to give Donald Trump this huge win. You're going to give the survivors a slap in the face because there's consequences to their actions. And I
Right.
see a lot of pundits out there talking about how, oh yes, the ex-president go, how dare they bring him up there, and how dare, like, yes, that's not, they were supposed to be 8 people, they canceled 7. Hey Zev,
Hey, how
welcome,
you doing,
brother.
Lev?
You know,
Hey, Ellie.
uh,
Hi.
and now they canceled 7, and now there's only the Clintons are left, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
What, folks, life is not fair. It's
I
not
just
about
don't
fair. Yeah, go
I
ahead,
don't
Ellie, please.
remember I just don't remember them, like, talking about this a lot. Like, if they're just saying, like, "We've hit our wall," like, I don't remember them standing up and saying a lot before. Like, there's a whole lot of ex-presidents that aren't standing up and saying anything. There's a whole lot of people in those files who claim to be innocent who are real quiet, and, I stand by that, "He who has nothing to hide hides nothing," right? If you're innocent, then you lay it out on the table. You go subpoena, like, go talk to them. Like, you can do nothing if you tell the truth. It can only do good, right?
Thank you.
So, and I get that they feel like they're up against a wall. I get that they feel threatened, but, like, they haven't been, like, taking a huge stand up until this point. It's not like they're just saying we're done because we tried so hard. They've been pretty quiet this whole time.
They have been saying that they want people to release as much as possible, and
Right.
I think their objection really is to give them some room here.
Sure.
Is that there's they were really framed. The initial release of all the documents was really all about Clinton,
Hmm.
and nobody else.
Fair, fair enough.
And I think they feel like that was they were targeted in that way, and now they're being pulled into this next
Hmm.
level of targeting, which would have them in front of a committee testifying under oath. Meanwhile, the president is getting away with 10 million
Right.
documents that are not being released at all, that we know contain criminal activity involving, Trump and his network. So, I see it from their perspectives. I agree with
Mhm.
both of you. What you're saying, Ellie, you're absolutely right. We should
Yeah,
have free,
I just
open.
want, yeah,
Yeah,
I want to say I agree 100%, and it's a great point you made, Zev. But
Mhm.
this is not a regular situation. This is not about, well, the president is not going to be is doing bad, so because of that, I don't have to go testifying. Because of that, we're trying to get to the truth. If he has nothing to hide, if I would be called right now in front of the Epstein committee, I would go in there and I would testify. I have nothing to hide. It's simple as that. The fact that it might not look good, the fact that it's a shit show, the fact that, yes, but at the end of the day, he is still going to go in there with lawyers. He's still going to, it's not like he's going in there by himself. He's not going, if there will be a certain ground of, Hunter Biden went in to talk to them. Let's call a spade a spade. You know what I'm saying to you? So the fact that he doesn't feel right, and the fact that he's pulling, I agree. And that's why I started saying it and I preferenced it. And then I'm not attacking you, Zev. I'm just
yeah.
passionate. I agree 100% that everything they wrote in that letter is right. I mean, it's not fair. It's not fair the way Trump and the DOJ and the way they're getting away with murder. It's not fair to the way they're isolating the Clintons. But we knew that was going to happen. We
Yeah.
knew that was going to
Yeah,
happen.
we did.
Trump told us it was going to happen. But let me ask you a question. But why not then come out and show and be the leader, the president, and say, you know what? Let's go. I'm here. Let's testify. Let's get everything out. I'm going to get everything and call everybody out. Lead
But I
by
don't think he's
example.
saying he's completely innocent. I mean, I think embedded in there is something that we don't know.
That's where we go.
And
Right.
I
That's
think
where
the
we go.
problem is,
That's where
as
we
we all
go.
know, Jeffrey Epstein targeted Bill Clinton as part of this operation. So it's a very different scenario. His relationship with Jeffrey Epstein was very different than Donald Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And those two things make it very different and difficult for him to testify. Now, if Clinton has information about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein, he should go out and say it.
Mhm.
Um, but
Absolutely.
if he's the only one who's going to get
Right.
caught up in this, then what's the point?
Right, right.
Well,
And I remember, like, even I think it was even on that one live where we were on with Michael Cohen that kind of went awry, but we were talking about how, like, the next set of files would be all Bill Clinton because that's the point. Like, they're going to get all the people that they want first and foremost. They're going to put them in the front, and then if we get the rest of the files, then you'll start to see the other people kind of trickle in.
But
Yeah,
that's
this
the
is the game
strategy.
that
But
Trump's
that's
playing.
the
Sorry, go ahead,
strategy.
Liv.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Zev, and then I'll hand it to you. But that's the strategy. That's exactly what we were screaming what Trump is doing. That's why he chose Clinton. He knows Clinton obviously might not be so dirty, but he understands Clinton has enough to hide that he's going to try to rebuke. That's why they chose Clinton, because by Clinton taking these movements, it's allowing now Trump, the DOJ, Comer, and others to now also defy subpoenas, defy thing. And I know we're going to keep going. Now we're going to get into a debate: who's right? Should the Clintons have gone? Shouldn't they have gone? Who Trump got first? It's not about what comes with first, the chicken or the egg. And that's why I made it clear when we spoke about the Epstein files. It's for the survivors. We need for them to be able to. They need to hear what Clinton has to say either. It doesn't matter if he's first, last, or in the middle. Somebody has to be first. Somebody has to come out. So why not Clinton?
The real
No
problem
Clinton's
here is that
interest.
Pam Bondi should not be, she should be in front of the committee because she's not following the law. The
I
Department of
agree with you.
Justice is breaking the law every single day by not releasing
100%.
the
And we're
file.
going to 100%.
So, so why bring up Bill Clinton now?
Because one thing
putting him in
has
front of the
nothing to do with another. Because
Yeah.
because what I'm saying to you is I agree with you, but one thing has nothing to do with it. You could
Yeah.
walk and chew gum at the same time. Pam Bondi needs to be brought up. Pam Bondi needs to be looked at. Pam Bondi needs to be impeached. Pam Bondi needs to go to prison. I agree with you 100%, and we're going to do it. But the fact that she is not being looked at, the fact that she is not, does not excuse Bill Clinton from not coming and telling us what does he know? You spent a lot. Look, the bottom line is, look, this is my issue. Again, if we are here and we want the survivors to get a real honest accountability, somebody has to be brave enough and come out there and say, look, yes, I might have not did the right thing. I might have, didn't look good. Listen, Bill Clinton is not an angel. What he did at the White House with Monica Lewinsky, let's not forget who Bill Clinton is. So Bill Clinton has a history of doing, these type of situations. So I'm not trying to say Bill Clinton is guilty of minor age girls or, God forbid, I hope not, because if that's the case, then he needs to go to hell and rot with the rest of them. But what I'm saying to you is Bill Clinton definitely knows a lot more. And the fact that he's not talking, the fact that he's not coming and saying, okay, these are my mistakes. This is what I've, whatever the case is, but this is what I know. This is what I've seen. And this is what I could maybe take to say that truth or not truth about anybody, Trump, this one, that one. But the fact that he decided to make that comment, and I want to read that comment again because that comment really got to me because just think about what he's saying. Every person has to decide when they have seen or had enough and are ready to fight for this country. So that first sentence right there really pisses me off. So you're telling me that this is your line in the sand. So you're saying to me what everything that Donald Trump has done before, all of these things, these past 10 months, this whole year we've been watching, the ICE attacks, the murders of Nicole Good, the attacks on our democracy, the destroying of NATO and our, attack, all of this, you don't come out and make a statement saying that now it's time and enough is enough to fight for our country. You're saying now because you have to testify in front of the Epstein committee to discuss things that you were involved with. Now you're saying you have drawn a line in the sand and it's principled and it's people, no matter the consequences, for us, for them, now is the time. So for me, that says now is the time for me to cover up my ass. That's what I read it as. Like,
that's true. And this is, I'm not a fan of Clinton's. I'm not going to tell you that he's an angel or anything like that. I'm going to agree with you that if this is the line in the sand, it's very late for someone who's supposedly a great Democratic leader. The line in the sand should have been a long time ago.
Thank you.
But, he needs to do is play, if he was going to be playing this politically, he's saying, I will testify the second Donald Trump testifies. Because, you've got two presidents involved with Jeffrey Epstein. Let's bring out Donald Trump and let him answer questions, and then I'll answer questions. But, he is right in saying that he's going to be hung up to dry because there's not a chance that Donald Trump is ever going to be in front of that committee. And you know that.
But again, then if we go that route, and again, I know Zev, you're just making a case for both sides so we can have a conversation because I know you truly want all the files out, and I love you and appreciate you for that. That's why, I'm not attacking you. I'm attacking the point. But what I'm saying to you, two wrongs don't make a right. I agree with you, Donald Trump. So the fact that Donald Trump is not coming out, then the fact that Donald Trump just called Clinton, that means that nobody's going to come out. Because if Clinton's going to not come out, Donald Trump's not going to come out, then that means they're going to actually bury it, and there's not going to be any accountability. Because if you think that Pam Bondi now is going to get impeached, or after what's going right now, this whole thing is going to go sideways, dealing with the Clinton, seeing if he should or should not testify, if there is or there's not going to be a contempt of hearing. I mean, this is now another delay, another distraction. And at the end of the day, the bottom line is Clinton should not have to be subpoenaed. Clinton, as the president of the United States, the ex-president of the United States, as morally should be coming in unless he feels that he criminally has liability, and then he should hire a lawyer. That's what he should be doing. But go ahead, Ellie. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what bothers me is that they're asking everybody to be subpoenaed now. Like, it's 7 years since Epstein died. It's like what, 18 years since the first trial. Like, it's shoddy and it's terrible, and half the people are too old to testify because they're almost 90 years old. Like why didn't we subpoena everybody before? Why didn't we do this years ago when everything was fresh? But we didn't, because they didn't want to. They didn't want to until we started yelling at them, and now they feel like they have to, if they even do it.
And they're not doing it, though. I mean, the reality of it is the 10 million documents out there. 10 million.
And a document is not a single page. That's what we have to remember. Like, when we say a document, that's not 10 million pages. That's files, 10 million files. So who knows how many pages?
So many videos, so many tapes, so many things we're never going to see, obviously, because they have shut it down. And it's partly Comer and the committee. I mean, these are not the people to be leading an investigation. They're a joke.
You're 100% right. And that's why, again, without people misunderstanding me, I'm not trying to attack Hillary or Bill or anybody out there. But I want to be honest with you folks. It's like, you know what? We don't have to go through all of these things for Donald Trump to come out and tell and release all the DOJ files. He could just do it. We know it. The fact that he's not doing it, he's hiding something. We know it. So why can't we put the same parameters for everybody else that we know are in the files, like Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton should not have to wait for a subpoena. Why can't Bill Clinton just come out and have an interview, or come out and say, "Listen, this is what happened. See this picture of me. This is what I'm saying. We need true heroes." People like that,
But do you think you're going to find a lot of true heroes in the Epstein files, though? Like, people who are good-hearted and want to come forward to speak.
But but that's what I'm saying to you. I chose Bill Clinton because he's supposed to be not. I didn't say Alan Dershowitz. You know what I'm saying?
No.
You know what I'm saying? If it was that, there's a difference. That's why I'm saying Bill Clinton, because he's still supposed to have some integrity. Hillary Clinton. I mean, people look up to them. They're still, very much loved, adored. There's people fighting for them. There's right now a whole debate, and that's why I preferenced it before, because I don't want him. It's nothing personal about the Clintons, but what I'm saying is the bottom line is he should be a leader right now. This is when a leader comes up and says, "You know what? Come on, Comer, you wanna get the truth out," and then come out and say, "Okay, I did it. Come on, Trump. Now you, everybody else, put up." That's what they can. But the fact that he said that he decided that this is where he's going to draw the line in the sand, you are going to see from what I'm hearing in the White House, it's just going to be a shit show, and I'm really upset.
A shit show because you think it's going to be about Clinton, Clinton not wanting to testify. That's why we're going to get the contempt, and that's why that's the process that they're going to be focused on instead of the release of the Epstein files in general.
Well, it's going to be a combination because, first of all, because Trump doesn't need that much because Trump now, whenever there's going to be, there's a delay or what's it called, he's going to say, well, what's Clinton hiding? It's going to be a he said, she said now. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? It's, he has now the ammunition. Trump doesn't need that much. They all have it now. Now, MAGA, after today, the MAGA's already running with it. The other thing that it's doing, it's uniting MAGA. Because the one thing that as the Epstein's as kryptonite to MAGA, the Clintons is like that survive, like that thing that puts them together. It's crazy. So the fact that the Clintons right now, because remember, they were all pissed off that he never put the Hillary away, never put her in prison. So the fact that right now the Clintons are now basically saying, "Go screw yourself. We're not going to come testify unless you do this first. We do this first." That type of thing. It's fueling now, also giving him that. Temporary maybe, but it's giving him that patch between MAGA because again, if you look at the right-wing media, they're again all agreeing upon getting up. They're getting, and it started first with Renee Nicole Gold murder because they're all uniting, say we saw this, you saw this. So now they're raising money for this cop, supporting that, and now you have today Clinton coming out, Comer, the Fox News, Newsmax, all of them have been reporting all day, like, that the Clintons are hiding. This is what we've been telling you. The big investigation's coming. Now it's not the Bidens. Now it's the Clintons. And now, do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
So he gave that. So again, I understand. And again, as a human being, everybody has their reasons to do it, not to. But I'm not sitting here today in any way trying to protect Clinton, Trump, or any of these people. Today, my main concern, and I know it's yours, and I know it's Ellie's, is the survivors and to get to the bottom of the truth. So yes, we had a good conversation about why he did, but why he didn't. But at the end of the day, I think all three of us agree that we don't care if it's Clinton, if it's Trump, if it's Jordan, if it's Bob, if it's Peter. We want them all. Les Waxner, we want them all to testify. We want them all to tell the truth, and we want the truth to come out so the survivors could get their justification. We don't want any more of this political bullshit to get tied up and again make this thing go away because something else happens that takes over the news cycle.
I agree with what you're saying, Lev. I agree 100%. But I think what we can do here is also make sure that the attention is on the process because truthfully, the Department of Justice is breaking the law in every single way.
100%.
Comer is doing a terrible job of leading this committee. He should not be in charge of oversight. And it's another good reason that people need to vote for a democratic leadership change because next November, there's an opportunity for Democrats to take over the Epstein process and to really get to the truth. Because what the Republicans have done with the Epstein files is buried it. They've done a snow job. They've done a cover up, and we can just see it every single day. The president's been protected. Pam Bondi's involved in the biggest cover up in the history of American crime. And we need Democrats to be in charge of these committees so they can stop putting pressure on this government, which is becoming a tyrannical government. We ran a story just now with Olga Lautman that on our tyranny tracker, the authoritarian creep is now puts America at 68 points out of 100 points in terms of how autocratic we are. That's the same as Russia. 2 points below Russia. That's where we are in America right now. And this GOP leadership and this GOP membership of Congress is what's causing it. They're not doing any proper oversight. They're not challenging the president. And that's why Democrats absolutely need to push hard that by winning November, they can also win on the Epstein files. Because we need, it might take a few more months, but I trust a Democratic chair of a committee a lot more than I would trust Comer to investigate the Epstein files or to bring Pam Bondi up on any impeachment charges.
Right, we have those. We went from like the letter from the FBI and Pam Bondi saying, "That's it, wrapped up. We got it. There's nothing to see here. You're wrong. There was no list. There's really no files. The investigation's over." To now having like 10 million documents that they found. And I'm looking back. So I'm looking back in these files this week, and it's talking about the people who were first reviewing. They're emailing each other. The people who are first reviewing the videos and the emails and the photos right after the death of Epstein. And they're like, this is a mess. Things are getting lost. We can't find this disc. This one disappeared. This one is burnt. This one's broken. Like, it was a clown show. Like, there was no organization. Things went missing. There's stuff that we will never see again because it's gone. And it's because there was no plan to do this right from the very beginning. They didn't have any plan.
Yeah, this is a massive cover-up. I mean, we know what's in there, Lev. We know how serious Donald Trump's implicated in all these crimes with this international crime syndicate. And, you know, you can hide that, but we can see that they're hiding it. And that's what they're doing right now, is they've basically taken up this massive network and their criminal spree over 50 years and have hidden it from the American people. And the GOP is implicit in it and complicit in it. And so is everybody in this administration. I think there's, you know, we haven't got the Epstein files yet. This release has not been it. We're going to get the Epstein files if we keep pushing hard to get Pam Bondi to follow the law. Only then do I think we can have credible, you know, congressional hearings on this stuff. Without the Epstein files released, how can we have hearings?
The only reason we have what we've gotten so far is because the people outside the government pushed for it. If we hadn't been as loud and as obnoxious and fought as hard as we did and had independent journalism, like if we hadn't done any of that, we would still be back with that letter from the FBI saying there's nothing to see here, the empty binders. We wouldn't have any of it, but we pushed for it and they released some of it, but it's like, what, 1%, 2%? Got a long way to go.
And on that note, I just want to say something because you both are incredible and 100% right. And I agree with both of you 100% right that the only way we're going to get accountability. And I wanted to lead this conversation from the Clintons because we understand they're not going to get a fair shot. We know all of this stuff. The only way we would get this rightly investigated is if we could get right now the gavel over to the Democrats and not have Comer and their people and have real people, real accountability, real subpoenas. And that is part of what we are doing and part of some major, major big announcements I have coming up soon, which I'm going to share with everybody that has a lot to do with it because it's time for action and for people to have accountability. And I agree with you. And that's why one of the major pushes that we talk about every day, even though we say her name, Renee Nicole Good, even though we talk about what's happening in the protests in Minneapolis and the way Trump is sending another 1,000 guards and what's happening in Ukraine and the destruction and right now the attacks he's planning on to go on to the Middle East and Iran and all of this stuff. And I know it's crazy, scary, the economy is going to shit. But the one thing that unites this country, the one thing that unites MAGA, unites everybody is, folks, the Epstein files. And that's why there's such a fight for it. And that's why, like Ellie said, that if it wasn't for people like us, that we sit here and that we just nonstop 24/7 keep the attention on it, we wouldn't even be here. There would be none of this releases. There would be we would know even a tenth, even though it's only 1%. But that's why we're going to keep fighting and we're going to continue doing it. Do you guys have some more time? Because I want to now.
I was just going to say, I need a shirt that says "Stay Obnoxious" because I plan to stay obnoxious about all of this.
Get it. Go get it. Definitely. I got my shirt. Enough is enough. Like
that is a good one too, Lev. I want one of those too. Gotta get to the Lev merch store, right?
No, I will get you guys because when we go to Washington D.C., I want to see a sea of enough is enough.
Yeah, sure, I'll wear it.
You know, because it's enough is enough of all of this shit that we have to deal with. Yeah. So, guys, I want to talk about a little bit about Michael Cohen because a lot of people have been DMing me. I know right before New Year's, I went out. There was a big blowout. Spoke about Michael Cohen, mentioned that we had some issues. I wanted to make sure everybody understood. Look, whatever my personal issues with Michael Cohen about what happened with my son has nothing to do with what we're going to talk about, has nothing to do with what we talk about, has nothing to do with what we have here. Because that I would give Michael a call. We would talk about yes, no, like two guys. I have another issue with Michael Cohen, which I told him, and I said to him on the phone in my last conversation, and I said it out here, and I'm saying it again to everybody. Michael Cohen knows a lot more than he's talking about. Michael Cohen knows a lot more when it comes to Epstein that he's talking about. Michael Cohen knows a lot more when it comes to Donald Trump that he's talking about. I know Michael Cohen for many, many years. I know people that are associated with Michael Cohen for many, many years. And me and Michael have not been on the same side for many, many years because of that. Since I got out of prison and I joined our fight to save democracy, I had to basically, in the beginning, basically just follow all of these influencers because it was impossible to get on to get your information out. So, I kept biting my mouth, biting my elbows, sometimes not agreeing with what people were saying, not agreeing with, but I took it because I had to try to build a platform, build a community big enough where our voice was big enough where we could talk about the truth. And we're here finally. Finally, we have a community, a family, a movement, strong enough where we could, our voice matters. So when we got to that point, God works in mysterious ways. And for those of you who know, we had a special that had to do with Donald Trump. And the crazy part had nothing to do with Michael Cohen.
Yeah.
Had nothing really to do with Epstein, Michael Cohen. It was a speech Donald Trump was doing. But, Zev called me up and said, "Do you mind? I want to have Michael Cohen up. I also have some few questions for him." And I said to Zev right away, I said, "Zev, that's part of the show. Ask away, brother. Absolutely. We have nothing to hide." And I would tell Michael the same thing because I don't play those games. So we were on the show. Zev started asking some questions and about having to do with the sale of a house with Russians that had finances. And I want to say to you, Zev, right now, because I've been speaking to some of my sources that have been confirming to me everything you've been saying, my friend. And I want to validate and say that Michael was involved in that deal. Michael was part of that transaction, knows a lot more than he's telling you. And that, I'm working on some of these sources to come out to maybe introduce him to you and to do some more investigative reporting, because that is not so much to do with the Epstein files, but that's it just shows a couple of things. A, that he definitely knew who Epstein was and was aware of the name Epstein. And we're going to get to even some of the incredible work that Ellie has done, which I want to, do, because we're going to get to that in a second. But Zev, I definitely want to tell you, you're on the right track. We are going to discuss it some more in detail, and I'm going to get you some information, introduce you to some of the sources, and I welcome Michael at any time. Again, when this is not, and I want to make sure that if everybody understands, this is not a show to bash Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen has every opportunity, anytime he wants to come discuss this in front of us and answer the questions, he is more than welcome to do that. But as of now, right now, what's happening, there's a serious implication of what I'm hearing and what's going on, and connecting some of the dots, and then an email that this wonderful investigative reporter, Ellie Leonard, has found that nobody's talking about. And when I saw this today, Ellie, I couldn't believe when Zev said to me, Ellie has this email. I said, "Are you kidding me? You need to send me this." And when he sent me that email, and and then I made a phone call to one of my ex-lawyers to find out about something that happened in my own case and everything. It just, basically it was the straw that broke the camel's back that gave me the final confirmation to that Michael has a lot of explaining to do. So I'm going to go over quickly, just give everybody a little update of Michael Cohen, of where we're at, and what Michael Cohen has said, because Michael Cohen has painted a picture to everybody over the years, and with the help of people like CNN, the media, and others that turned away and didn't ask the hard questions, didn't pry into everything that was going on, to made him into a Democratic darling, because he was the main witness in the Stormy Daniels trial. So basically everybody, because Michael was willing to go and give evidence in the Stormy Daniels trial, basically gave him a free pass on everything that was going on, and forgot about who Michael Cohen really was. Michael Cohen worked for Donald Trump for 14 years. Michael Cohen, right before he got arrested, made a comment saying that he would take a bullet for Donald Trump. And folks, he really would take a bullet for Joe. That's how close they were. Michael Cohen tells you himself how close they were. Every debate, every conversation, every time you bring up any issue, any subject right now, if you bring it up, he will tell you nobody knows him better. He will tell you that nobody knows him better. Nobody spent more time with him. Nobody's been. Michael Cohen's also explained to you in his own words that Donald Trump is a micromanager, that Donald Trump does not have thousands of employees, has only a few employees, and those few employees do the work. Also have to remember, Michael Cohen for 14 years was his fixer. He was not a good guy. Michael Cohen was not the guy that called you up and sent you flowers from President Trump. Michael Cohen sent you a wreath for your funeral home from Donald Trump. That's the type of shit Michael Cohen would do. Michael Cohen would threaten, intimidate people. Michael Cohen would go out there and go out there. So Michael Cohen was not this good guy angel out there. Michael Cohen did business and was his fixer and did stuff for Donald Trump because it was advantageous for him. He made a lot of money. He made a lot of contacts. He made a lot of people. In that process, okay, since then, Michael Cohen has not discussed any, and I mean any, zero crimes or illegal activity or things, bad things that Donald Trump has done, except for that same Stormy Daniels case. So in 14 years that Michael Cohen being his fixer, doing all these bad things, all attacking all these people, hearing stories of him going after these companies, making sure people, these poor people that were supposed to get paid would get cut their checks and that. I mean, I could sit here and talk about all the horror stories, but Michael Cohen doesn't talk about any of these stories. You never hear. And on the contrary, if you listen, Michael Cohen defends Donald Trump on everything else except for when it comes to Stormy Daniels. And the only reason Michael Cohen is so adamant and pissed off at Donald Trump about Stormy Daniels is because he went to prison for it and Donald Trump didn't. Michael Cohen is an angry man, and he's angry that he had to serve time and Donald Trump did. Michael Cohen doesn't care about anybody and is willing to throw anybody under the bus to be able to save his own name, which we will get to a separate conversation at a separate time when certain documents get unsealed and that we could share with you. But today we're going to talk about Michael Cohen and the Epstein files. So first of all, let's understand, Michael Cohen, like I said, never gave any information except Stormy Daniels. Michael Cohen is a proven liar and lied to Congress. Michael Cohen is a proven liar, lied to the Southern District of New York. Michael Cohen lied about his involvement in the sale of the Rublev house that Zev was talking about. But most importantly, Michael Cohen has been lying to us about a lot of things that were happening. The one thing that really got to me that I started looking into, and that's why today's email really, and I want you guys to slam those hearts because this is some important stuff we're going to share. And I want you I want you to share with everybody out there because, we welcome Michael Cohen to come on the show and explain these emails and these conversations. So let me remind you and take you back. So Michael Cohen all of a sudden had a heart attack and had a very, outburst about Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett. If you recall that when the Epstein files were released from the estate, in one of those files there was an email that came out, a text message from Epstein to Plaskett while Plaskett was questioning Michael Cohen. So the interesting part is everybody was asking about Plaskett's relationship with Epstein. Why is he texting her? And Michael Cohen very smartly attacked that. Michael Cohen attacked saying Plaskett needs to get looked at. Why is she dealing with a, what's it called, pedophile? Why is Plaskett taking questions from him? Why is this? Why is that? But the one thing is we didn't take a look at what was Epstein saying to Plaskett. Let's take a look at what he was asking her. He pointed out to Plaskett in a text message saying that Plaskett asked Epstein that Cohen mentioned Trump executive Rona Gaff. So he's telling her that he knows that Cohen mentioned Rona Gaff in certain conversation. What that shows to me is that he knows Cohen. He's talking about Cohen. He's talking about something that he knows Cohen knows. Now, unless you want to believe that Epstein is following Cohen or has had people around him that are telling him about Cohen. I don't think so. The fact that he's talking about Cohen indirectly and telling her to ask what Cohen knows. He's not telling her to ask what Trump knows. He's asking her what Cohen knows. So how does Epstein know what Cohen knows, and why is Epstein asking questions about Cohen himself? But then, after looking into it, Ellie, what you found was a real interesting smoking gun, folks. And I can't believe more people have not talked about this, not read about it. And I'm going to read this email, folks.
Can I just say one thing real quick?
Yes. Yes.
So I didn't actually find this. One of my
Oh.
subscribers found this and sent it to me, which
Wow.
is fantastic. Everybody's been digging, and it's been kind of like a great little team working together. So somebody actually sent me to this from the files that I was digging through, and they couldn't figure out where they'd gotten it from, and we dug through and we finally found the page. And yeah, so this is one of my subscribers that sent this to me.
And I'll redact it for you, because without redacting the names, I'll redact to you exactly what this is, because I've seen a letter like this before.
Yep.
Cohen did it against some other people also. So I'm going to read you this letter. This is actually a letter coming from Mike Monaco and Barry Spevak. Mike Monaco and Spevak are very powerful criminal attorneys, white-collar attorneys in New York, and they represented Michael Cohen while Michael Cohen was serving time in Otisville. While Michael Cohen was serving time in Otisville, Michael Cohen was trying to get out of Otisville by every time there was somebody would go arrested, Michael Cohen would have his attorneys get in touch with Southern District of New York investigators and give them dirt. Because what happens is, if you're a defendant, I'm going to give you a little background. So if you get convicted of a crime, and then you help out the federal government, they could file a Rule 35. That Rule 35 is called, basically, they go to the judge and they say, he's serving time, but he's helping out with an investigation and he should be released earlier, or whatever the case. So I'm giving you a heads up what a Rule 35 is, and when, these informants called out and do it. So here's the letter that one of Ellie's subscribers, God bless you, because this is what I'm saying to you. We need more of this, because Michael Cohen could never imagine this would come out, because every time he screams, I want them to release all the files, I look in his eyes and I know that's the opposite of what he wants, because he knows Trump is going to be hiding the files, and we're going to get to a lot of stuff. But today, to start off with, let me get to this. So this is on July 2019, Wednesday, July 17th, 2019. This is a call that came in from Mike Monaco, one of Michael Cohen's attorneys, to the Southern District of New York assistant. I know who it is because we had the same attorney on the case. I'm not going to mention his name for now, just in case. I don't know. I don't want to dox anybody. But it's irrelevant for the conversation. But I know who this email went to, and when the time is right, I'll put the names in and I'll write it in. But it goes, so Mike Monaco. It's an internal email. It's an internal email from an FBI agent and an assistant U.S. attorney at the Southern District of New York, reaching out to the other Southern District Attorney of New York about a phone call they had with Michael Cohen's lawyers. So it goes like this. Mike Monaco and Barry Spevak called us on behalf of Cohen. They asked whether we would file a Rule 35. Remember what I told you a Rule 35 is. And requested a meeting to discuss it. So the assistant U.S. attorney says, I asked what had changed since we told them on April 17th that we did not intend to file such a motion. So let me bring you also up to speed, which you don't know, Ellie and Zev, and I can't mention the person's name, but on April 17th and other day, Michael Cohen was writing letters about other people, innocent people, that he was planning to lie about or give information about to try to get a Rule 35, which we're going to get into on a different show on a different time, because today we're going to keep concentrate on Epstein. But the credibility is what is important. So now, it continues, but we would get into that in such a file, in such a motion. They said, Cohen's attorney said, quote, Cohen had heard Trump say something about Epstein.
Say
Unquote.
things, actually, say things.
Say things, yes. He has heard Trump say things about Epstein, but would not get into detail at this time about what those were. They then attempted to rehash our April 17 conversation about Rule 35 and asked for specifics about what Cohen had done to undermine his credibility. I said I would consider whether we were willing to provide more specifics. Folks, this is an effing bombshell. Because let me explain to you what this says in black and white from Cohen's own attorney. That Cohen has said that he is vehemently excited. He says he's never heard Epstein, never heard Epstein's name, never met him, never heard him, never doesn't know, never doesn't know, no. Well, now his attorneys in black and white say that Mr. Cohen wants to get a Rule 35, wants to get out of prison earlier. Why? Because he has, quote, heard Donald Trump, say things about Epstein, but would not get into detail at this time. So, folks, Michael Cohen is full of shit. He has heard of Epstein. He has heard of Donald Trump going on. And I'm telling you right now, Michael Cohen, you are welcome at any time. Come on down, baby. Let's get this straight. Let's talk about Zev has a lot of reporting, which I helped him out, and he's going to get into about the Rubelov sale. I have a lot of questions to you about a lot of things that I know that have transpired in Trump organization while you were there, even by a guy named Felix Sater. There's another name I'm going to throw out there for those of you that know, but Zev knows that name very well. He's another gentleman that worked for the Trump administration, but was part of Russian organized crime, was part of that meeting. For those of you who don't remember, it was Michael Cohen, Felix Sater, and that were involved in sending the letter to Trump from, remember?
There was those that were involved in negotiating the Trump Tower that was going to be built in Moscow. During the election campaign, we should remind everyone, Michael Cohen and Felix Sater were negotiating a tower to be built in Moscow, funded by the Russians, for the Trump organization. It seems like a huge conflict of interest while you're running for president, but that's what was happening at the time. It's very well documented. So, they know each other, of course, but the negotiations with the Russian presidency, including his spokesperson, were ongoing during the election campaign. And this is such an important email that you have uncovered here, or that your followers have uncovered here, Ellie, because
huge.
This is not just an email. This is a note to the file in the investigation of Cohen and of Epstein. So, whichever they're writing to that note to, they're saying basically that Cohen is asking to get out of prison early if he's going to share information on what he knows about Epstein. And that was the deal that they were looking for. To say from his own lawyers, a legal note from the assistant U.S. attorney into the file, into a proper legal file, for them to quote, has heard Trump say things about Epstein, is very significant, obviously, just because of the fact that it's coming from the SDNY. This is not just some Joe Schmo writing an email to somebody. This is two highly respected lawyers of Cohen talking to a assistant U.S. attorney, and that being put into the file. That is, hard to refute what that conversation happened, and those were the words that were shared because these are professionals.
And even it goes even further. You're 100% right. Not only is this extremely serious, because remember, if Cohen goes, if they would have said, just think about, they would have said, okay, let's listen. That means Cohen would have came in. He would have given them information which we would have had now. This is the crazy part. The only reason we don't have Cohen's testimony about what he knew about Epstein and what Trump said is because the Southern District of New York didn't trust Cohen because he was a liar.
Yeah, but that's the other important thing it says here is that they don't consider him credible. And they were saying they asked specifics about what Cohen has done to undermine his credibility. So So
Yes,
even
that's what I'm
they
saying
weren't
to you.
trusting him at this point in this investigation, and they were looking for specifics. As why don't you trust our guy? You know, so it's pretty clear from this that that you're right about that information would have been released had they trusted him, or had he been an upstanding person and actually disclosed what he knew to all his followers, to everyone. He's been trading on the fact that he's coming clean on Donald Trump for decades now, almost. Seems like a long
Yeah.
time. And he's not coming clean on Donald Trump, and he's not coming clean on what Donald Trump knew about Epstein either.
And the disgusting part, Zev, and I'm going to say to you is, I watch some of his shows and I read some of his letters, and lately he's literally using basically empathy, saying that people are attacking him, that we, me, you, others are attacking him on something he has nothing to do, and that people, that need to support him because he's trying to unite us and we're trying to divide and I look at that and I'm like, and like to him this is either some kind, I mean, like, I don't even know what he's planning on doing, like, because the truth is going to come out. I am not going to leave this alone, and I'm not going to leave alone with a lot of other stuff that Michael needs to come clean with. But the number one thing I care about is the Epstein files right now. I don't care about, and in all honesty, I don't care about, I think Michael has a lot of explaining to do about a lot of different subjects that came out over the years about Donald Trump that he could have helped out. I mean, but listen, even I called Michael on a couple of times when I was reporting about Ukraine, Russia, and certain people, and then when I mentioned certain Russian oligarchs, Michael didn't even want to go. He was like, "Oh, they're not that bad of people," because that's part of Michael. Well, listen, I don't know what Michael's scared of. I don't know what Michael, if he's worried about, he needs help, whatever the case is. But I don't believe he's scared because, if he was scared, he wouldn't have done what he did against Stormy Daniels. I truly believe Michael has a lot of things he's hiding. I think Michael is angry at Trump. He's angry he didn't get pardoned by Biden. He's angry that, right now he's in the middle. He does not agree with most of the things that are going around, and that's where Michael is. And that's why I said the truth will set you free. So this is not a gang up on Michael moment in any way. This is a situation where Michael needs to come clean. Otherwise, Michael needs to, go support Donald Trump and try to get a pardon from him. But you know what? I'm not going to allow, people and to play these games. And I'm going to call out all of these, and I want to make it very clear to everybody out there. And please, for all of you out there, spread it to all the contributors, like the Midas guys. And I'm going to speak to Ben after this. Today, he went out with George Conway. People make sure that to reach out to George Conway. See, a lot of people do not understand and are make sure this does not become another Epstein moment with you when Michael Cohen has to come clean with everything he's saying. So, for a lot of you, and that's one of the reasons I had my issue with Michael Cohen bringing my son on, talking about the Epstein files, knowing what's it. So that's what I'm saying to you. It's just letting everybody know we're not going to leave this alone. We're going to, continue talking about this. We have the smoking gun. Michael Cohen needs to come here and explain to us what it is that he knew that his lawyers were telling the Southern District of New York that he had information on. And I expect each and every one of you to go out there and make sure you let him know that this is happening. Make sure you let everybody know, let anybody, because this is a warning shot and this is already getting serious. Because Michael Cohen kept saying, release the files, release the files. Well, Michael, so far 1% of the files have been released and your name has been in two of those emails. And in both instances, three. Yeah. And in all three instances, it doesn't look good. In all three instances, it shows you involved. And it's thank you, Katie Johnson. Somebody just mentioned Kay Johnson. I want to do right, so right by that lady, by that young girl, wherever she is right now. If I want to uncover who is that person that really threatened her and put it away. I'm not blaming anybody right now, not calling out names, but we're not going. Ellie knows we're not going to stop, and Zev knows we're not going to stop. We're going to get to the bottom of it, and it's just the beginning. But so far, Michael Cohen has a lot of explaining to do, and I really want to make sure that now these pundits that go on these shows with him, I hope they, understand that, and ask these same questions and don't just cover up. Because if they do that, I will call them out, because we're not here for reality shows. People spend their last money. People go on Social Security and spend their last money to subscribe to some of these people, because they're trying to do whatever they can to get information to be able to be aware, save our democracy. And one thing I could promise you, that is one of my missions, is to call out all of anybody out here that is trying to just play games. Because we out here, people like Ellie, people like Zev, people like myself, Wajahat Ali, and others out there, they're truly out there, really are trying to save our democracy, really going out there doing everything we have to be able putting a lot on the line to do it. So we are taking it personal, especially when it comes to the Epstein survivors. To all of us, this is a personal thing. So guys, why don't you end off, give me a little bit about how you want to end this off, and what you think about what we have discussed today, including the Clintons, Michael Cohen, and anybody else anybody else you think that should come up. Zev, you want to
first,
start
Ellie,
off? Or whatever.
Go ahead, Zev. Go ahead, Zev.
Go ahead,
No,
Zev. You
look,
go first.
I like you. I'm just concerned about trying to find the truth here. I have no issue with Michael Cohen. I am just trying to find out what the truth is with Trump's relationship with Epstein. What we do know, and what I've just been publishing in The Greatest Heist, is that there is a criminal connection between Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein that involved the pump and dump and the crash of 2008 that affected so many Americans' homes, and their lives and their dreams were really shattered by the 2008 economic crash. We all remember that. And the fact that, Jeffrey Epstein clearly was the person who caused the crash and was involved in protecting the assets of Bear Stearns and Donald Trump in the way that he did, and you have to read the chapter to really get a handle on that, is an indication to me that these guys were part of the same criminal network. And what we're beginning to unpack here is this criminal network that is involved both Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. And it did involve human trafficking, and it involved child abuse, and it involved a lot of other criminal activity. And that criminal network has now taken over America is significant. It's the number one threat to our democracy right now. It's the number one reason we have a sliding autocracy tracker. We see it happening because of this criminal network that is taking over America. So that's my primary concern. And if anyone has any information about it, whether it's Michael Cohen or Lev Parnas or anybody else, they should be sharing it with everybody.
Absolutely.
Because we're at a very critical moment here.
Or Bill Clinton. Or Bill
Anybody.
Clinton.
Or Bill Clinton. Anybody.
Yeah, anybody. Exactly.
All
Go
right,
ahead, Ellie.
my turn. Okay.
Yes.
I'm just staying the course. I think this has been a week, but it's only Tuesday. It hasn't been a full week.
Right? It feels like
It's been like a week and a day.
It's been a marathon. This has been a lot. There has been a lot of extra researching this week, extra digging, extra fact finding, extra background checking. I know that a lot of, and I don't even include myself in this. I consider myself to be a writer. I don't know that I yet can call myself an independent journalist, but I know that independent journalists are not sleeping. They are working late into the night. They're getting up early. They are talking to sources. People are tired. People are working very hard. These files, we have currently something like 60,000 files. We have looming 5 million files. And so it is a lot of work. And I know sometimes we get picked on a little bit if we make a mistake. We're just trying so hard to get it right. And so that's what we will continue to do. As far as the Michael Cohen stuff, the way I see it is when he realizes what level of community he has on the other side, should he make the decision to come clean or to let go of the old stuff or to recognize the things he knows, I don't think he realizes the community that would welcome him on the other side.
Yep.
I hope he does at some point, because I think
Me too.
he could be a wealth of information. I think he could be a really great benefit, but he has to decide that. Like I said, backstory. I was working on the Ghislaine Maxwell proffer in July, and I hopped into one of his, lives, and I was in the chat and I wasn't speaking, and people started talking about something that I was writing that had to do with a Jane Doe, and he got very defensive and he brought up my name and he got a little bit upset, and I just thought, I don't know this guy. Why is he so mad at me? And then I realized later that it had to do with, he thought that I was writing about Katie Johnson, and I wasn't writing about Katie Johnson. And so I know that there is a lot there that we have yet to dig into. And it just takes honesty, and honesty can be very, very difficult if you know that there is stuff to complain about. I mean, I don't think we're intuitively honest people. I think it's very difficult for people to be honest. And so I hope he does, and I hope he sees the light, and I hope he's willing, because I think he doesn't realize how much he would be embraced if he became a help rather than a hindrance in this process. And so I'm just going to continue to hope for that. And then I'm going to continue to research. I'm going to continue to talk to people. I'm going to continue to do my best and sleep like 6 hours a night. But you know what? We have a lot of files to get through, and I'm just going to keep working.
You do such great work, Ellie. You really do. I know I keep you up sometimes. Both of us are chatting.
Yeah, I know. We're like 3 a.m. We're like,
yeah. And I just want to say, Ellie, you are a real independent journalist. Don't let anybody. I mean, your writing work. Your writing is
my own problem. I have trouble saying it, but everybody else is very nice about it.
I mean, yes, there's great independent journalists out here.
Yeah.
A lot of them, and but you are one of them. And I give you props. Work. I trust your work. I know.
I actually met Aaron today. I wanted to tell you, I met Aaron today, and we had a nice, good, long chat, and that was very.
Oh, that's so awesome!
That's great.
Yeah.
I'm so happy, because I got you in touch with Eric. I was gonna get in touch with Eric, and I'm getting you in touch with Ben also. I'm working because you definitely
one big happy family.
One big happy family, absolutely. And Zev, also, you too, man. Like, I want to say, I give you lots of props. You take a lot of, heat from a lot, and that's part of independent journalism, because you have to ask the tough questions people don't want to answer. And I give you a lot of props for, being calm, collective, just sticking to the facts, and that's what it's about. And this is not about emotion. This is about facts. So I want to tell everybody out there, before we say goodbye to Ellie and Zev, I want to say to you, please make sure you go out there. Very few independent journalists out there that really deserve and mean it. There's not that many of us out here, but these two truly are. The investigative work, the work they do on the Epstein files, the nonstop, and believe me, it's less than a cup of coffee a month. So please, I'm asking you, go subscribe, hit that Chiron up there, and the easiest way is cross-pollinate. The way I say is, you hit cross-pollinate and you subscribe to all three. That's for free. And then you make your choice who you want to, all three of us, one of us, two of us, and don't feel the pressure. It doesn't matter, because each person has their own preference, likes a different type of information, is looking for something else in independent journalism. But when you do become a paid subscriber to each and every one of us, all of us, I could promise you will get not only
you'll get your $5 worth. I guarantee it.
Yes, you will get your money's worth and then some, because the one thing we could promise you, we are not paid for. None of us here are paid for by the left, by the right, by the middle, by any corporations, by any oligarchs, media sponsors. Well, we are a real independent. We are based off of you. So you give us the power, the fee to be able to continue giving you that work, risking a lot, because sometimes you see this information we're giving you is really serious stuff that sometimes we're really risking a lot to give it to you. So really appreciate, folks. Please cross-pollinate and make sure you subscribe to everybody. And for those of you who can, to become paid subscribers to Ellie, to Zev, means a lot, because they also, it's not just only supporting the work, but they also do extra for paid subscribers. We all do. We all do something different. Some of us do private, spaces. Some of us do extra letters. Some of us do all kinds of stuff. But we all do do something extra for our paid subscribers to give a little extra. So please, folks, today especially, this is major breaking news. I'm going to be putting out the letter later also about it with the email. I'm going to be putting a post out there with the email. I'll be tagging Ellie and Zev. You guys want to repost it because this is just the beginning. I think the next couple of days we're going to have some more lives about this because Michael Cohen needs to answer us that question. What does he know? What was his lawyers talking about? I don't care about anything else. I don't care about. We could go at it, but right now I want to answer to this. This is already a very simple question. What did you tell your lawyers that you knew that you wanted to get Rule 35? And remember, to get a Rule 35, folks, I'm going to preface it has to be very important information. He couldn't have just told them like, "Oh, I know Trump knows Epstein." That would not get him a Rule 35. For him to get a Rule 35, for his lawyers to consider asking for a Rule 35, it had to have been certain information that would have implicated Trump to a criminal investigation, folks. Think about that. That's extremely important. So, Zev, Ellie, I wish you a great night. I know you guys are tired. You got a lot of work. Thank you for joining me. We probably might be going live tomorrow, the day after. Also, so stay tuned because there's a lot more happening, and I'm just getting started with this stuff. Thank you, guys.
Lev, thank you so much for all the work you're doing. It's awesome. Thank you. Have a great night.
Night, guys.
All right. Take care, guys. Guys, we had the great Ellie, the great Zev Shalev up here. I mean, these guys do some incredible work, incredible investigative journalists. I am so happy. It's so funny. Zev, I met Zev. Zev used to do investigative work against me. That's how we met. He used to dig into me, ask me questions. And the one thing, now as you could see, we are friends and we're on the same side because the one thing that I truly had a mea culpa is that I said enough is enough and I speak truth to power. So it's very easy for me to speak to anybody because I have nothing to hide, folks. I have only the truth. And that's why I preach and I talk about the most important thing that we have right now is the truth. And the truth is not left, not right, not black, not white, not any religion. The truth is the truth. And that's why we have one way and we're going to get to the bottom of it. So, folks, I want to make it very clear. Today was not an attack to come here and just talk about Michael Cohen or the Clintons. Right? This was a very, very serious live that we did. I hope you guys that if anybody joined late, make sure you spread it far and wide. If for those of you that watched from the beginning, I want you to spread it far and wide. Watch it again, spread it around because there's some very important things that has transpired. What's going on with the Clintons? Yes, we could debate it, we could discuss it, right, wrong, or indifferent. The bottom line is, the survivors are not getting the justice they're due because I don't care if you're Clinton or if you're Trump. I want the truth. I want you. You should not have to be sitting there waiting for subpoenas. You shouldn't have to be wait. You know what? Why don't you go? I'll give you this, Clinton, Bill Clinton, and if you don't want to deal with this, why don't you go out and write a statement of everything you know and put it out there and say, this is what I know, this is what I see, this is what give us some information, but stop hiding. Stop hiding about legal. You're the president. This is unauthorized. They're going after you. You speak first. It's what comes first, the chicken or the egg. Stop that because it's not about you and it's not about anybody else. It's about the survivors. It's about the truth, and we're going to get to the bottom of it. So please, what I'm saying to you, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, stop with the games. You figure out how to get the truth and start getting us the truth because the truth is going to come out. When it comes to Michael Cohen, folks, this is extremely breaking information and major powerful information. Today, I'll be posting it all over the place, and I am telling you, I can't believe that, this slipped through the holes. But I want to, for those of you that are joining late, I want to read to you again this. This is an email that was found by one of Ellie's subscribers, one of you that was out there working hard, the millions of you that were combing through all of this drop that was dropped upon us by the DOJ, and in that drop in the DOJ, because prior to this, if you remember Michael Cohen, I want to again bring it back because this is extremely important. I want to reiterate it for all of you that are joining us late. Michael Cohen, me and Michael Cohen have had a rift because of the Epstein files. I've been calling Michael Cohen out to come out and tell us the truth. Zev Shalev has been calling Michael Cohen out. Ellie has been. We've all, Wajahat Ali and others, we've been all talking about Michael Cohen and about how it's important for him to come out, for him to be able to. Hold on, let me see if Waj is here. Hold on a second, guys. Let me see if Waj is here to come up. Let me text him. I think he's here. Bear with you, folks. Wajahat Ali was putting his kids to sleep, so he said he was going to join us because this is extremely important news. So yeah, folks. While we're waiting to see if Wajahat Ali come up, let me bring you up to speed. Those of you that joined late, some of you that might be Michael Cohen supporters, and are a little bit upset and hurt. I understand, but folks, I'm not here to sugarcoat, not here to make friends. I'm here to get you the truth, and you have to make your decision. And right now, for us to be united, we all have to be honest. Everybody has to come out the truth. People that are hiding still things on the inside could only hurt us going forward because it gives Trump ammunition. So this is the breaking news and the email that was uncovered in the drop by the DOJ in the Epstein files. So if you recall, Michael Cohen said that he has nothing to do with Epstein. He has never heard of Epstein, never heard Trump speak of Epstein, never heard Epstein's name come out, and actually attack Zev Shalev on a rant that he should choke and stuff like that. Attack Tara Reid, all of this stuff. Well, folks, I just want to tell you. We just received some information that I'm gonna read it to you. So on Wednesday, July 17, 2019, this is Wednesday, July 2019, while Epstein was arrested and is sitting in MDC prison, Michael Cohen was serving time in Otisville prison. Michael Cohen's lawyers wrote a letter to the Southern District of New York. Okay, he wrote his lawyers, Mike Monaco and Barry Spetvik, called on behalf of Michael Cohen. This is the lawyer writing to another assistant district of attorney lawyer saying, they asked whether we would like file a Rule 35 and request a meeting to discuss it. So Michael Cohen was asking for to get out of prison because he had what's it called? He wanted to get out earlier because he had information that he wanted to give the prosecutors, the Southern District of New York, on other bad guys. And he's asking them if he could get this Rule 35 and if they could get this meeting. It goes on and says, I asked what had changed since we told him on April 17 that we did not intend to file such a motion. So what that says to me is Michael Cohen on April 17th wanted to give them information about somebody else. But they did not find him credible. They did not, believe him. And that's part of Michael's story his whole life. He lies to Congress. He lies to you. And he lies to you and me. Lies to people. Because here's the biggest lie of them all. Because he's been attacking Tara Palmieri. He's been attacking Zev. He attacked me, attacked everybody. And, plays this defender, goes out there, tries to have you guys send him money by saying, release all the Epstein files. Well, here I'm going to give you a line, folks. They said, Michael Cohen's attorney said that Michael Cohen, quote, has information heard Trump say things about Epstein. Let me repeat. Michael Cohen's attorneys in July 2019, on Wednesday, July 7th, 2019, wrote the Southern District of New York that Michael Cohen has pertinent information about Jeffrey Epstein and his relationship to Donald Trump. And because of that, he would like to receive a Rule 35 and get out of this prison. Are you effing kidding me? Michael, you got a lot of explaining to do. A lot of explaining to do. And, I'm not going to stop until it happens. So, folks, also, looks like Wajahat might not be joining us. He might be putting the kids to sleep, but we'll be definitely going live tomorrow, discuss more of this. This is just breaking. I'm going to be putting out more information and letter about this and everything. I just want to say one thing, that for all of you that are out there right now supporting our movement, for all of you that are supporting our GoFundMe's, becoming paid subscribers, the first thing I want to tell you is, if the only thing you could do is become a paid subscriber, that's probably one of the most important things right now, because of the way the algorithms are set up, because of the way things are the way these things work. When the more paid subscribers you have, the more it brings your information to the news. And because our information is so important, so powerful, I ask of you, whatever you could do, if you can, become a paid subscriber. Otherwise, we have our volunteer hotline, levpttp@proton.me. It's growing by days, by hours. Continue joining, for those of you that want to do more than just contribute or listen, but want to be part of our movement. And I could tell you other things. There's some major change that's happening, some major good change, powerful change. I have some very big announcement that I'm going to be making soon. I can't wait to make it. I'm excited. I'm psyched that this is going to be some incredible, powerful, big news. And I promise you, this is a year we're going to go and make a difference and take our democracy back and hold all these people accountable and make sure the Epstein survivors get the justice that they deserve. In the meantime, folks, I recommend, we just got a new shipment in. Get your Enough is Enough t-shirts and sweatshirts. I just got my sweatshirt, just came in because it's cold. Make sure because if we go to DC, get your sweatshirts, hats, because folks, enough is enough. And that's our movement, because we're not going to take it anymore. Enough is enough of the lies. Enough is enough of the destroying our Constitution. Enough is enough taking our citizens off the street. Enough is enough of murdering, innocent civilians, and say her name, Renee Nicole Good. Renee Nicole Good. You know what I'm saying? Enough is enough of all of this. We're done. And we know what to do, and we have a game plan, and we're going to take care of it. And unfortunately, people that are out there playing the game lying, you're going to get run over, because we're not picking any side. We have one side. Our side is humanity. Our side is the people. Our side is we all bleed the same. We're all Americans. So, like I said to you folks, I promise you, I will be here for you. As long as you support me, I will be here fighting day and night to make sure we get our democracy back, we save we save our country. So God bless each and every one of you. Get some sleep. I gotta go write this letter about some of the stuff about Michael Cohen and other things that I'm hearing. I'll be getting it out to you later tonight. Also, some other news: we're under attack, which is great. I'll give you some more about information that is coming out of Canada. But Dean Blundell, my partner in crime, is right now investigating them. So we're going to go after them. Some mega right journalists are trying to start up because they try to keep us quiet. So anyway, I wish you a good night. Lots more to go on. But the main thing I'm going to say to you, because today earlier, I was on my show with my sister, Ludmila. Some of you were there with me. And, she, because I would have been a lot more angry. Look at me. I have a smile on, a smile on my face as I'm telling you. And believe me when I tell you this stuff that I'm talking about, I am pissed off. I'm so pissed off at Michael Cohen for the lies and the way he did this. I'm so pissed off at the way the Clintons acted affected. I'm so pissed off that the survivors are not getting the justice that they're due yet, and that Trump is covering up. So pissed off that Nicole Good is laying in a casket while they're trying to make, I'm not even going to say his name, make him a hero, raising him money through these GoFundMe. I am pissed like crazy. But as I told you, our anger, we need to channel it. And that's why I'm channeling my anger, like my sister taught me, not into anger and let it spread. I'm channeling it into what we could do and make a difference. And that's why I have a smile on my face, because not because of the things that are going on, because I know we're going to make a difference. I know what we need to do. I know how we're going to take our country back. And I promise you, just listen to what I'm telling you. And I promise you, another week, another month, another few months, we will be in a totally different position, and we will be getting a result. And all of these people that are playing games, and all these people that are not coming forward and not want to tell us the truth or what, they have to live with themselves. They're the ones that are gonna, history is gonna write about them, and they're gonna have to face God themselves. But we here, have a clean heart, clean slate, because you know what, Chrissy, I can't believe you just said that, because I wrote that to Michael Cohen. Literally, that was my last message to Michael Cohen. I wrote to him, Michael, come out and tell the truth, because the truth will set you free. And I truly believe that, because when I started speaking truth to power, when I started telling the truth, it felt like a different being. I sleep well at night. You know what I'm saying to you? And that's why the truth needs to come out, especially for Katie Johnson and others, because what they did to that poor young girl, I don't want to even reiterate it right now, because none of us deserve to go to sleep with that. But Katie, wherever you are, maybe you're listening here right now. And if you're listening, I want you to look at me, Kelly, and I want you to say to you this one thing. I promise you, our community, our family, our movement, our resistance promises you that we are not going to forget who you are. We're not going to forget your name, Katie Johnson, just like we're not going to forget Renee Nicole Good. We're going to make sure that in your name, for your suffering, we are going to get these people, and we're not going to stop until we do. And the same thing goes for you, Renee Nicole Good. May you rest in peace. May the angels look after you. But we are going to make sure. Maybe that's Waj. Oh, Waj is going to join us in 2 minutes, folks. So let's give him 2 minutes, because I really want Waj on this. He's been talking a lot about this stuff, and let me just send him an invitation. Hold on a second, guys. Okay. And I will send him an invite. Okay, perfect. We sent him an invite. And Waj is another true hero, I tell you honestly, and that's why I want you guys. He's right now, just so you understand, this is true independent journalism. Look at me. My wife just walked in because she's putting the kids down to sleep. It's 9:45. Waj just wanted to put the kids down to sleep. Ellie had to go put some kids down to sleep. We're all in the middle of this, but at the same time, we're making sure, and a lot of you are also out there right now, probably, putting your kids to sleep, coming home from work, eating. And that's why I want to say we have over 2,300 people here. It's incredible. God bless you, because what that tells me is our community is growing, our voices are growing, and that means we're on the right track. That means we're doing something right, and we're uncovering it, and joining forces with people like Ellie, with Zev, with Dean Blundell, with Wajahat Ali. It just gives. I just want to tell you, really, these are people that are real, true fighters. Yesterday, I was on Joy Reid. Joy is incredible. I mean, bringing out Not Scared, Speak the Truth to Power. So many other independent journalists out there. But I just want to say that it is right now a time where we need more and more. What's it called? Yeah, Zev, is an AI machine. Why don't we do this while we're waiting for Wajahat? If you guys have any questions, I know there's a lot that's been discussed and talked about. So if you have any questions, be under any confidential agreement or no confidential. Oh, there he is. I was just talking about how I don't know how you do it. Putting the kids to sleep. Ellie just went to put her kids to sleep. I asked my wife to put my kids to sleep. The jungle is on, but the news never stop. And welcome to Lev Remembers, Waj. I'm really happy to have you here. I think it's the first time, and I'm really happy for you to join us because I don't know if you know, but we have some breaking news about some of the stuff that we've been talking about. First of all, I want to ask you. I know you heard today with the Clintons. Before we get into the Michael Cohen stuff and some of the stuff that we've been because we had Ellie on and Zev on, and Ellie found an email which you're not ready for when I read this to you. But let's start off. What's your opinion with the Clintons? What do you think is? I mean, you know my opinion. I'm gonna.
So, I mean, my take is I literally put my kids to sleep. I brushed my teeth, and I was about to publish. I'm behind on three conversations. I was about to publish mine. I got this text from Lev. Hey, can you come on? Breaking news. I'm like, oh shit, man, what else? Are you kidding me? Donald Trump is meeting to discuss attacking Iran. Then you got the minister from Denmark and Greenland coming in tomorrow, where this guy can potentially blow up NATO. You got the cover up of the Renee Good murder, and then you have the Epstein files. I'm sure you saw today that TMZ clip where that factory worker was awesome. He said, call him a pedophile protector. And Trump, that guy's a hero, man. That's how he should be treated. Look,
Yeah,
he
I
said
agree
F
with you.
you and gave him the middle finger. So that's where I'm at right now. So of course, what could go wrong? Because the day is still young. It's 9:48 p.m. And this mother effer, Donald Trump, has taken so much of our life, so much of our space, so much of our time, so much of our peace of mind. Lev, I cannot wait till the universe drags this guy to hell. I
Yeah.
can't wait for it. But tell
I
me the
mean,
news.
well, let me tell you. So, in the Epstein dial, if you remember the last time we had this whole Michael Cohen issue, it was because Zev and Ellie were asking him questions about his name coming up in the first Epstein dump by his estate, where it mentioned that Stacey Plaskett, Congresswoman Plaskett, was in touch with Epstein while she was questioning Epstein. So Michael Cohen made this big deal that we should go after Stacey Plaskett. She's talking to a pedophile. She's this bad person. But what nobody realized is what the question was. And the question that he was asking Plaskett is Epstein was talking about Cohen. He was talking about Cohen in a specific way that like he knew Cohen, asking him, giving Plaskett saying, well, ask Cohen, he knows this. So first of all, that put me on the track. I said, wait a second. I know Cohen. I know around. Remember, when we had this whole blowout. So for the past several weeks since this blowout, I've been speaking to certain sources in the background, getting more information about what Cohen might not know or might know. And then today I was going to go on and talk about some things that, have to do with Cohen. And all of a sudden I call Ellie and Zev. I was like, guys, you want to come up and talk about some of the stuff that we're going to talk about, the Clintons, Cohen. And Ellie goes to me, I have something for you, Lev. You're not ready for this. One of my subscribers found it. So I'm going to read it to you, and I want to hear your response after Michael. Did you see this email?
No.
Okay, so get ready. You only saw one email about Michael Cohen, right? With the Plaskett.
Yeah, and I remember the whole blowout that apparently happened the night that we were all on, and I had left. And then apparently there was this huge blowout, and Zev's like, what the hell, man? Why was he so disrespectful to me? And you and I have talked about how I don't like Michael's, who seems to be all about transparency, but when it comes to the Epstein files, he's rubbed me a little bit the wrong way. Let me put it this way.
Thank you. So now let me tell you the smoking gun that we have and that Michael needs to answer some question. This is an email dated July 7th. This was part of the dump from the DOJ. And not only Ellie didn't find it, she even missed it. One of Ellie's subscribers found it in the dump and sent it to Ellie. Imagine how nobody's found this, nobody's talked about this email. Incredible, because there's so much dump. So it's an email from Michael Cohen's attorneys on July 17th, Wednesday at 6:47 p.m. To the Assistant District Attorney, Southern District Attorney to New York. So they called him, and now this is an internal message from the Assistant Attorney General of New York outlining his conversation to the head assistant district attorney of New York, outlining the conversation. So it goes, I got a call today from Mike Monaco and Barry Spevik, very powerful attorneys that were representing Cohen. They called on behalf of Cohen. They asked whether we would file a Rule 35 and request a meeting to discuss. Now, to give you the preamp, at this time, Michael Cohen is sitting in Otisville prison serving his time. Michael Epstein has just gotten arrested and is now I think this was just around his arrest when he just got put into
2019.
2019, correct, July 2019. And this is now a letter Michael Cohen is asking them for Rule 35. If you don't know what Rule 35 is, it's basically a request that for, if you're serving time already, to be able to, if I give you enough pertinent information about another crime, then I could get out early. The prosecutors write a letter to the judge saying, this guy has helped us out on this case. So Michael's attorneys are asking for a Rule 35. So the prosecutor goes on and says, I asked what changed since we told them on April 17th that we would not intend to do that. So now on April 17th, so this is July 17th. So April 17th, Michael Cohen was already trying to give dirt on some other people to try to get out of jail free card. And that's another thing when I can't go into right now, but I'm going to discuss about other people that Michael Cohen was talking about, which was total lies at the time that should get out, but not for today. It goes on. It says, what changed? And this is the big one. His lawyers say, they said that Michael Cohen, quote, has heard and has information about Donald Trump saying things about Epstein, unquote. So, I mean, black and white. This is a letter from his on behalf of from an internal message from the DOJ talking about how Michael Cohen had his attorneys while he was in prison contact them to say, I want to work out a deal because I have information about Trump and Epstein.
Tit for tat. Yeah. As someone said in the comment section, quid pro quo. It's what Ghislaine Maxwell is doing right now. She has the goods. That's the reason why Ghislaine Maxwell is a minimum security camp where she's getting privileges that no one of her felony status has ever gotten. No one's explained why Ghislaine Maxwell has been transferred. And it seems, based on that email, that Michael has information about Epstein, Trump, or at the very least alleged that he had information, was willing to offer that information in exchange for a reduced sentence. And then the question this follow-up question is, well, what did he know? What does he know? What is he not saying? Why did his attorney reach out to the other attorney? What were they going to give, or have they given something, right? I don't know. Did he give something up? What did he give up? And when it comes to the Epstein files, I've always said, Michael, seems to be transparent on many other things, but when it comes to the Epstein files, he behaves very much like David Brooks behaved last month. Remember that New York Times op-ed?
Yeah, exactly.
We should get over the Epstein files. I'm over it. And that's a really strange thing for a New York Times opinion writer to use one of his columns for. And then a month later was found out, oh yeah, because David Brooks, after Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted pedophile, was in some conference with him. There were photos, right? So whenever someone talks like this, I'm like, because if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to lose, which goes back to the question that you asked me, which I unfortunately forgot to answer, not refused to answer, because I got in my TED talk, I was ranting, is, it's time for the Democrats to throw the Clintons under the bus. I said it before.
Thank you.
I'll say it again. I don't care about Hillary Clinton. I don't care about Bill Clinton. If I've said this before, I'll say it again. When it comes to the Epstein files, if anybody, I don't care if it's a Democrat, a president, a philanthropist, a celebrity, an academic, if it is shown that they somehow were complicit with this rape, a cover-up, or if they were seen partying with this guy, I want answers. They should answer questions. Why did you know this guy? Why did you hang out with him after he was a convicted pedophile? What were you offered? Did you know about these girls? Sometimes I think it's fair to say, hey man, I was invited to a conference. There was this guy there. I had no idea he was Epstein. I think that's fair. But for
Yeah,
people who
absolutely.
repeatedly, consistently met with this guy after the conviction, and knew of his reputation. And with Bill Clinton, Susie Wiles, who's his chief of staff, has openly said, "Oh, Bill, she's seen everything." And she said, "Bill Clinton, yeah, he didn't really do anything bad." And Donald Trump, oh, he was a young playboy. He was 50 years old when he was partying with Epstein and chasing girls, right? So maybe Bill Clinton didn't do anything, but the fact that Bill Clinton's all over it is not a good look for Clinton. And also Hillary Clinton, it's completely separate. But I will say, just a couple of weeks ago, Lev, Miriam Adelson, who has given, her, has given
Yeah.
over $100 million to Republicans and Donald Trump.
Yeah.
The widow of Sheldon Adelson, a hard right, pro-Israel,
Hard right.
pro-Netanyahu, pro
Know her very well. Know her very well.
like
Yes.
Mr. Nut,
Yes.
who has given $100 million to Donald Trump in 2024 and said, "I'm giving this to you based on reporting so that you will annex the West Bank," and he's quid pro quo. And then she openly said, what was it, when they called him the first Jewish president last month, right? She was there. He brings her up and she says, "I'll give you another $100 million if you promise to run for a third term." That Miriam Adelson, her ex-husband, she was widowed, not her ex-husband, but her former husband
Well,
who
yeah.
died, Sheldon Adelson. They publish a free newspaper in Israel, pro-right, hard right-wing newspaper.
right.
That is the number one newspaper because it's free. And in support of that newspaper, Miriam Adelson had a conference in New York. Who does she invite? Hillary Clinton, along with the world's worst people. Who accepts the invitation? Hillary Clinton, who openly promotes this batshit conspiracy theories. You know why the young people are radicalized against Israel? No, not the genocide, not the occupation, because of TikTok. That's what Hillary Clinton.
TikTok. Because of
I'm
TikTok.
not making this up, folks. So I'm at the point right now where what have Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton done for us, right? And if I don't care, look, I lived through the Clinton years. The neoliberal policies failed. They failed big. This is a man who also lied when he was president. He was so horny. He was banging women left and right, lied about receiving fellatio from Monica Lewinsky. Of course, not the same thing as rapist Donald Trump and a criminal. At the same time, though, these people are failures. They're part of the establishment. They have done nothing to evolve and move on with the time. And I am not willing to risk accountability and transparency. And like you and I have said, the Epstein files, which is Donald Trump's Achilles cankle and the biggest club over these two. Nancy Pelosi, if you recall, let me bring you one more receipt before I finish. In the summer, it's Danielle and I bring this up a lot. On MSNBC, Nancy Pelosi was being interviewed I see her face, but I'm forgetting her name, one of the anchors, about the Epstein files. And Nancy Pelosi said, "Oh, this is just a distraction. And there are more important things like the economy." I'm like, what are you talking about? This is the only thing that unites 75 to 80% of Americans. How can Nancy Pelosi say this? And at that time, and especially now, I believe that the old guard was trying to protect Bill Clinton and Bill Richardson.
100%.
Some other, I'm not saying they did anything, but to not sully their reputation. So my whole
100%.
thing is we should throw these people under the bus and we should be like, you know what? Everyone who partied with them, be transparent. Go in front of the cameras, tell us what you know. Because like you said, if they're, I understand why the Clintons might be defying subpoenas because like this is a witch hunt, this is bullshit, release the Epstein files. I'm not going to play by your rules. I get it. But as you know, now the Republicans who are always bad faith, who are engaged in a cover-up, they'll never, ever release the Epstein files because it'll probably show that Donald Trump is a rapist. Now they'll say, well, if Bill Clinton's going to defy subpoenas,
They're saying it.
if I'm Leslie Wexner, I'll defy a subpoena. If I'm Leon Black, I'll defy a subpoena. And voila, the rich and the powerful protect their own, and there's no transparency and accountability, which is why I've said Democrats should throw everyone, including a Bill Clinton, under the bus to use this giant club, which is the Epstein files, to attack Trump, and not just Trump, all powerful men and institutions that were complicit in covering up sex trafficking and the rape of children. That's my TED Talk.
Oh man, 100%. Watch, I'm with you. Like, there's like literally 100% on that. And I started before you came on the same. I said exact thing. It doesn't matter right, left, black, white. This is enough is enough. You know, the fact that they're playing politics. Oh, you go first, or I go first, or you didn't call this guy. What difference does it make? You were subpoenaed. You knew Epstein. You were part. You should not. You shouldn't even have to wait for a subpoena. You should show us that you're a leader. You should come out there and say, here. This is what I know about Epstein. This is where I've been. Yes, you know what? I come to have a Jesus moment. I did this wrong. I did that wrong. I mean, there's nothing. What else? I'm just saying, what could have been worse than having fellatio with your intern, a young intern inside the White House and getting caught? I mean, like we understand your background, unless it's something bad that we don't know about. The only thing I could tell you about is I agree with you. The Clintons, what they did today is they slapped the survivors in the face again, just like Donald Trump, by saying, listen, it's not about you. We're going to make it about us. The one thing that really pissed me off is a statement that was in their whole long letter, Wash. There was this one part of the statement. There was three sentences that I still can't get over. I'm going to read them to you. And that really pissed me off. They said, quote, every person has to decide when they have seen or had enough and are ready to fight for this country, its principles and its people, no matter the consequences. For us, now is that time. Are you effing kidding me? So you're telling me everything that just transpired in the past year, none of that made you decide that it's time to fight for our country? What made you decide to fight for our country is that you got subpoenaed to talk about the truth about the Epstein files, and you decide to use a scapegoat because they decided to call somebody else, or it's not going to be, you think you're going to be mistreated by coming out and speaking truth to power and say exactly what's going to go on. I mean, I'm sorry, Watch. That
You know
said
what I
enough
would
for
do?
me.
You know what I would do if I were the Clintons? I said, okay, I would go in front. They have training, both Bill and Hillary. They've been
Oh my God, what trade?
bad, I mean, bad faith attacks on the Clintons have been going on for over 30 years, folks. I'm old enough to remember it, right? What they could do, this is just a strategy for them, is say, okay, go there calmly, and it's all going to be televised. It's going to be public, and just throw Republicans under the bus. Throw Donald Trump under the bus. You know who I saw there? Donald Trump. You know who was partying with girls? Donald Trump. You know who used to hang out with him all the time? Donald Trump. You're like, that's what I would do. I would throw billionaires under the bus. I would throw institutions under the bus. And if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to lose. Yeah, I went there. Yeah, we partied, but I didn't do anything with girls. I didn't mess around with them at the time. I was married. I didn't know Epstein was a pedophile. Then after he was a pedophile, I stopped hanging out with him. I regret hanging out with him now. Yes, that's my handwriting. Yes, I wrote him that note for his birthday book. I didn't know he was raping kids. But you know who really knows him well? Donald Trump. That's the way I would, if I were the Clintons, if he wants to help the nation and wants to clear your name, that's what I would do. But I don't trust them. I know there's vote blue no matter who. I'm done with the blue anon. The
Me
blue
too.
anon.
Yeah.
I'm done with them. The people who say,
Okay.
don't criticize the establishment, don't criticize Dems, vote blue no matter who. I've seen how they operate. Schumer is still going to fund DHS. Schumer did not shut down the government. Schumer sat there and bear hugged Marco Rubio last week and laughed and smiled. Too big to fail. They still haven't embraced Mamdani. Donald Trump now is texting Mamdani, according to Axios today, because Trump likes winners. He knows where the wind is blowing. Trump has embraced Mamdani before Democratic establishment. Lev, I'm done with these people. I'm done with them. I think all of them got to go. The establishment all has to go for the sake of our democracy, because Donald Trump is openly going to unleash the Insurrection Act and then martial law. I mean, I don't know why does anyone think this guy's going to leave peacefully, Lev?
He's not. I don't know what anybody. Why would they believe it? I mean, not only is he not planning on leaving it. I mean, just think about what Bannon just came out and said a couple of literally like days or a week ago. He came out again and said we have a plan. 2028. He's not going anywhere. But forget 2028. It's 2026 that's important. What you're saying is 100% right. We have to put in people there, and we have to get in new blood. We have to get in people that want to make a change, not these Schumers out there that are, like you said, hugging with Rubio and coming out and making speeches, because at the end of the day, the people are suffering, people are dying, people are losing, freezing all over the world. So, Waj, I agree with you 100%, my brother. I really appreciate. I know it's late. You got to get back to your kids. We're gonna go probably live tomorrow, talk about more about stuff that's breaking. But I know you're a bad promoter, so let me promote you a little because you deserve it. Because people like you, like Ellie, and I want to tell everybody, go up there. We have about 3,000, a little over 3,000 people watching right now. Hit that chyron on top. Make sure you go out there and subscribe to Wajahat Ali, the Left Hook. Make sure you cross-pollinate Ellie, Zev, and make sure, folks, it's really important. You know, there's a lot of information out there, but the information, if you see that you're getting here, you know, it's truth. It's not spin. It's not one way or the other. We're telling you the way we see it, and we're bringing you a different perspective from investigative journalism like Waj, Ellie, and Zev to behind the scenes like I'm bringing you. But collectively, we're giving you information you're not seeing anywhere else. And the amount of money it would take to become a paid subscriber to any one of these individuals is less than having a real cup of coffee at Starbucks or anywhere else. It's literally a month. A month. It's that cheap. And I could promise you, you will thank yourself for all the information instead of subscribing to a lot of these pundits out there that are just regurgitating the same old thing that CNN or MSNBC are doing. You need to start following, subscribing to real journalists like Waj, my son Aaron, like Ellie, like Zev, people out there that don't care what the news is saying. They go out there and tell you the truth and tell you the real opinion. So, and I know he has a sale on too right now. So
it's the terrible capitalist special sale. Both Ellie and I have. It's $3.75 a month.
Exactly.
Just put it up there. It's the lefthook.com. Left Hook, the lefthook.substack.com/special, and also subscribe to Lev. But I really appreciate Lev. You know what it is, folks? It's an ecosystem. We're trying to build an ecosystem of different. Think about the multicultural, like the ethnic Avengers or the Justice League, right? Everyone has a role to play. Everyone has a specific expertise. Lev is a former fixer. Lev has wild stories. He still has sources within the administration. So far, anytime he comes to me and he says, "Listen, man, I'm confident." He's so far batting 100 from the summer. Ellie, a transcriber who's become an amazing independent journalist who's gone out of her way to do all the work that New York Times and Washington Post should be doing, reading every single Epstein email and categorizing and analyzing. And Zev, he's been on the money trail for many years. He has his contacts and sources. You know, I've had a foot in corporate media, have had a foot in independent media, an intersection of all these, if you will, different professions that I've had, and I have access to a lot of really interesting, smart people that should be on corporate media, but oftentimes don't get the spotlight. So we try our best to just come together and cross-pollinate and help each other out. So as we discover this, you discover this. And as you can see, hopefully from today's conversation, clearly, folks, we're against the Trump administration, against fascism. There's no both sides when it comes to fascism, but we're not paid by the DNC. We're not paid by the Democratic establishment. We're not sitting there parroting much of the blue talking points that, unfortunately, some people on Substack, I like them, but you see that they parrot a lot of the DNC talking points, which is fine. Well, not too fine, but we don't do that. When they do right, I give them props. But when I think they're wrong and they're harming the country and they're misreading the situation and the people, we criticize them. So I hope that type of transparency and authenticity helps us. If it does, helps you. Subscribe to Lev, subscribe to Ellie, subscribe to Zev, subscribe to the Danielle and all the folks, Allison, and thanks for subscribing to the Left Hook. Lev now has got to go tit for tat. Maybe I got to invite you tomorrow or Thursday.
We're gonna go. I have some news for you also. I'm setting up. We got this. It's a crazy week, Waj. We're just get some rest today. I'm gonna try to get some rest also because I think tomorrow it's on against
Denmark and Greenland, man. The Danish and
yeah.
The foreign minister is meeting Donald Trump, and Donald Trump has openly wants to blow up NATO. And essentially, Denmark said "F you" if you were paying attention today.
And Thursday, there's a major meeting happening about Venezuela. I'm flying to New York. Can't tell you too much about it, but I'll let you know behind the scenes. We're going to be going live, reporting on some stuff. So lots of happening.
He was meeting his advisors about bombing Iran. What could go wrong?
Yes. I mean, so folks, as you could see, try to get some peace, get some rest. Tomorrow we'll be up early in the morning. Waj is going to be up there. I'll be up there. We'll be getting you the news behind the scenes. Again, Thank you for joining us. Thank you for believing in us. Thank you for subscribing. And for all of you that can become paid subscribers, God bless you, because you really are the backbone to allow us to do this, to be able to bring information with no paywalls, no nothing, because what we want to do is save our democracy. Once we save our democracy, we'll get back to debating, we'll get back to normal business, we'll get back to, trying to build something. But right now, we're all in it to be able to, so our kids, our grandkids can have a better place to live. So everybody have a great night. God bless you, Waj. Take care, brother. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, guys.